Hi guys, Josh here and welcome to Frames Per Second. Today I'm at California Lanes because this is a different kind of video we're doing today. I'm going through a trip I took to LA back in 2017, which was kind of an integral trip on getting me into street photography. So I shot 10 rolls of film over 2 weeks and was just visiting a good friend of mine. So this is all stuff from that, including footage from my Instagram stories, and so this is kind of me reflecting on things I learned while I was on the trip, because I didn't know much and I learned a lot of things through that. So I'm reflecting on all these past images, finding the things that I learned so that you can learn about them too. On this trip, it was kind of my first time shooting several films, including Portrait 160. I'd shot 400 before, but not the 160. And one thing that I noticed while shooting in LA is just how amazing the light is for photography. There's a reason why it became the center point for Hollywood for filmmaking, and they went down to California because of the light, because they needed enough light to expose the film back in the day, and it really does show. There's just a quality to the light. It's a really good area for shooting film because that's why the whole industry kind of exists in this city. I also shot my first roll of Velvia, which was the first roll of slide film I had ever shot. But the thing is, I didn't know I was shooting slide film at the time. I didn't know what that was. I just thought it was just color negative and black and white film. I shot some slide film without knowing, and I do like quite a few of the results. I definitely would have made it a little bit differently for some of them, and there's definitely some scenarios that I wouldn't have shot knowing the lack of latitude that slide film has. Now, one thing I discovered throughout the trip, of course after the fact, was what shutter speeds I am good with as far as camera shake going. And there are quite a few shots, especially because I was shooting quite a fair bit of low ISO film, that are a bit shaky, because I was just going down to like a 10th of a second and being like, yeah, this will be fine, and no, it was not. And through this whole shoot I shot a Canon EOS 500 and the light meter wasn't working, so I was just using the Lux app on my phone, and it was actually pretty accurate. Yeah, this photo with the cyclist is one of my favorite shots I've ever taken, and I do want to get it drum scanned and make a big print out of it at some point. And so I was on this trip with some friends, and yeah, we had a good time. But yeah, so that was my first time shooting slide film, and I learned a lot from that. And we are shooting Hillvale Sunny 16, which is really just Superior 400 repackaged. Yeah, I am still yet to fall in love with Superior 400. I like the 800 versions quite a bit, but yeah, I've yet to shoot a roll of the 400 that I absolutely love. But there's still nice natural color to it. And this was the second roll of Cinestill I shot, and it's not that bad in the daytime as far as color goes. I know it is a bit on the greener side of things, but I was able to get some nice stuff out of it. This was probably the second time I'd asked somebody to take the photo, and I just love this guy and his outfit. And yeah, this shows how handy 800 speed can go, because I didn't shoot a lot of stuff at night, but I think I just shot this roll. Let's go be smarters. And so here's some more Fuji Superior 400. I feel like this roll in particular I underexposed quite a bit compared to other rolls, and at the time I didn't really know about overexposing color neg. But yeah, just the kind of red tint you have to it is something that I don't really like. That weird flares from a flash from a phone, I believe. And yeah, I think these are my least favorite colors I got out of Superior 400. I hadn't shot a lot of street, and I definitely was not confident enough to like really get up and close to people, and I was mostly using a zoom lens on this trip as well, so this is another one of my favorite shots as far as street goes at the time. Like, Like, I like this shot a lot, showing two different worlds. And yeah, not every shot from this is a banger. Some of them are cool like this, others are just kind of basic, and this is me just going out and shooting film I really like and just learning from doing it. And at this point I didn't really know about Sunny 16, and I don't know how to like meter the way I do now, and just figuring out exposure. But it was definitely a big stepping point into just kind of getting me shooting and getting me more comfortable out in the public and not really caring what other people are thinking. And it did kind of help that I was a tourist in this city, and so I was less self-conscious because I was there on holiday. And how else do you make memories? You take photos of them. And this was my first roll of Ektar, which, yeah, I love the colors I got from Ektar in LA, and I've never been able to get the same out of stuff in Australia, and that's just because the light is very different. And it also depends on the time of the year, the quality of the sunlight. But yeah, Ektar in LA is definitely something I want to go and do again. Just the way the blues pop, I love this shot, it's one of my favorites ever. Of course I didn't know about overexposing, just to get more shadow detail, so quite a few of the shots on the Ektar, the blacks are kind of crushed, and there's not a lot of detail in there, but the skies look nice. And this is my first roll of Still 50D, and I definitely put it in at the wrong time because, yeah, it was tricky getting exposure this late in the afternoon, and there's other shots I am not showing you here that just did not sound because they're too shaky. But yeah, some cool stuff like this. And obviously it's cinema film in the cinema city, and yeah, I think this is still my favorite results from 50D as far as color goes. It's because everything in Australia seems to be a bit more green tinged, and I can't really say why. I don't know if the quality of light is that different, but it kind of is sometimes. And this is just a cute shot. And now this is Kodak Gold. And yeah, I guess as far as things to learn, it's definitely learn what shutter speed you can go down to, just in case you do need that extra light. I found that like a 20th is really as low as I want to go with 35mm. I didn't have a medium format camera at this point. But yeah, also just get out there and shoot. Get comfortable having people look at you while you're taking photos. And although on this trip I didn't get comfortable enough to really like do a lot of street portraits or get up into people's faces, I eventually did. And just getting out there, shooting film, and getting comfortable with your camera, and just being open to what's around you, it's an important thing to do if you want to do street photography. And I'm not saying any of these shots are absolutely amazing. Like, some of them I do quite like a lot, but there's a lot that are just kind of average. But it was a really important part in learning how to shoot street and kind of just opening your mind to images that are around you. So yeah, I think from this trip I learned to be bold and be open to what the world has around you. And I think that's a very important thing to learn as a photographer, and I've definitely grown a lot since the trip. But I don't think I would be where I am without the seed that was planted on this little holiday.
So that's all the time we have for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and feel free to like, subscribe, turn on this post notifications so you know when there's a new episode. Anyway, I'm Josh, this has been FramesPerSecond. Just get out there and shoot some film.